station wagon. And at night, I'd go to bed and I'd hear my parents talk. And I learned words like mortgage and foreclosure, heavy words for a kid. One day I walked into my parents' bedroom and my mother was pacing back and forth, and on the bed was the dress. Now, some of you in this room know the dress. It's the one that only comes out for weddings, funerals, and graduations. And it was laid out on the bed, and my mother was walking back and forth in her stocking feet, crying and saying, "We will not lose this house. We will not lose this house. We will not lose this house." She was 50 years old. She had never worked outside the home, and she was terrified. But she pulled on the dress, put on her high heels, blew her nose and put on her lipstick, and she walked to the Sears, and she got a minimum wage job. And that minimum wage job saved our home, and it saved our family. And if you want to know who I am, that story is etched on my heart and always will be. Now, for a long time when I was growing up, I always thought that was a story about my mother, about how deep you reach when you got it. And through the years, I came to understand, no, this is a story about a lot of families and a lot of people who do what's got to be done to take care of the people you love. But it was years later that I came to understand it's also a story about government. Because when I was a kid, a minimum wage job in America would support a family of 3. It would pay a mortgage, keep the utilities on, and put food on the table. Today, a minimum wage job in America will not keep a mama and a baby out of poverty. Think about that difference, because for me, that's what this is all about. Back when I was a kid, folks in far-off Washington asked the fundamental question, what's it going to take for a family of 3 to make it? That's where we ought to put the minimum. Today, the folks in Washington ask, what's going to improve the profitability of a multinational corporation? And that's what we're here to change. So it was a bumpy path for me. I wanted, more than anything else, to be a public school teacher. Wanted that from the time I was little. And but there was no money for college. I got a scholarship. Then I drop out of school at 19 and get married. Smart. But I found a commuter college, made it back. Ended up with babies. I go to a public law school, a state law school. Second baby. Yeah, it's one thing after another. And then ended up in law teaching, back as a teacher, but on law side of the house. And pretty much all of my adult career has been spent around one central question, and that is, what's happening to working families in America? Why has America's middle class been hollowed out? What's happening to opportunity in this country? Why is the path so rocky for so many people and so much rockier for people of color? Why has this happened in America? And just think about how this works. The answer is not that people don't work hard. The answer is not that people don't try. The fundamental answer is back to a lot of those decisions made in Washington about who government works for. So right now, government works great for giant drug companies. It just doesn't work for people trying to fill prescriptions, right? It works great for giant oil companies that want to drill everywhere. It just doesn't work for families that want kids who can actually breathe the air. It works great for giant financial companies like Equifax. It just doesn't work for people whose Social Security numbers get stolen. That's the difference in America. It is an America right now that works for the rich and the powerful. And we need to call that out for what it is. Corruption, pure and simple. I just want to say 3 quick things about what that corruption has done to families in America. Since 1980, GDP in this country has more than doubled. Our country has gotten a whole lot richer. But 90% of America, upper middle class, working poor, and the poor, homeownership, number one. Got another one? No, okay, we'll keep working. Number one way in America for middle-class families to build wealth is homeownership. Today in America, African-American homeownership rates are right where they were when housing discrimination was legal. Think about that in this country. Or a third one. When I needed a chance to go to college so I could be a public school teacher, I found a commuter college that cost $50 a semester. Yeah. Talk about really amazing things, right? 50 bucks a semester, and I got a 4-year diploma and could become a special needs teacher on a price that I could pay for on a part-time waitressing job. Today in America, we are crushing our children under $1.5 trillion of student loan debt. This is an America that is working for those at the top and not working for anyone else, and that's why we're here tonight. and drugs, bring down the cost of education, bring down the cost of an education for our kids. These are the things we have to fight for. And the third one, we need to change politics. And that means we need to protect our democracy. We need constitutional amendment to protect voting. Every American. This back together, it also means we got to drive the money out of politics. Build grassroots campaigns and return democracy to the people where it belongs. Every problem that we've got, every issue that we face, gun safety, environmental disaster, student loan debt, social security, they all intersect at this problem of corruption. They all intersect at a Washington that is working for the wealthy and the well-connected and not working for the people. So, I just want to say this. I am here tonight. I'm here. Oh, we have sound. I thought that was just for me. Yes. Woo. Okay. Now that we got sound, I'm ready. Okay. But we get to a good place in this because this part I want you all to hear for sure. I'm in this fight because I am grateful. My daddy ended up as a janitor, and I had a chance to become a public school teacher, a college professor, and a United States Senator. I am grateful to America down to my toes. I am grateful, but I am also determined. I am determined that we build an America where not just the children of rich people get a chance to build something, but where all of our children get a chance to build a real future. That's what I'm in this fight for. This is going to be a grassroots campaign. I'm here to ask every one of you to be part of this. Anything you can do. Volunteer, take a sign, pitch in $5, any part of it. Go to ElizabethWarren.com, join us in this, because this is about what we do together. I believe it works for everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Scott. Hello, Scott. Democratic Party.
Thank you. My name's Scott Putney. I'm the chair of the Potawatomi County Democrats, and I'll be the person that draws the lucky tickets tonight. So
all righty.
When everybody came in today, they should have had the opportunity to put a ticket in the bucket if you wanted to ask a question. So.
Okay. He's got one.
Okay. So I've got a bucket. So what I'm going to do is just start with drawing 4 tickets.
Okay, get some good ones here, Scott.
And if you would, when your ticket is drawn, if you could come up to this microphone, to the young lady there that's waving her hand.
That or get one of the teachers. They'll make sure it's loud enough. They'll totally do it.
And we'll try to get through
That
as
or if
many.
we got any nurses here, they'll do it too. Yeah. Oh.
We'll try to get through as many questions as we have time for.
Okay.
And like I said, I'll draw with 4 first. 099052.
that you?
If you would, please,
Okay,
please
good. Just go ahead and keep calling.
let people
Yeah.
get through. Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is 099031.
Here we go. We have another winner. Okay, good.
099009.
Good.
And 015. How about that? That's close,
015.
Jeff.
Okay. We got something to start us?
Anybody have the 015? Yeah.
Do we have 015? There we are. Okay. All right, we'll get better on the tickets. You got a T-shirt, though. Okay, the best one. All right, we ready? Hi.
Hi, my name's Maria Nevada. I'm actually a student.
Miranda?
Maria.
Maria.
Yes, I'm actually a student journalist at the UNO Gateway. I'm the photo editor.
All right.
Don't have a fancy press pass, but my question is, in a time when there's the question of like the soul of the Democratic Party, like what do they need? What are we sort of all collectively looking for? If we are collectively looking for something, what is it exactly that you think the Democratic Party needs in this journey towards 2020, and what you are bringing to it that you think needs at this time?
So it's a great question, Maria. But I got to tell you, I'm not a career politician. I never thought I would be in public office. I never thought I'd run. I've been a policy person forever. But I never thought I'd run for public office. I never thought of this in terms of party politics. All I know is what pulls me into the fight. And what pulls me into the fight is that I got a chance as a kid. And that chance was because taxpayers invested in public schools. That's how I got my chance. K through 12, that's how I got my chance. I graduated into an economy that was growing, where we were making more and more investments in making that economy work locally, investments in infrastructure, investments in basic research, investments in the things that produce good jobs right here in America. And I believe in that. I have watched as year by year by year, the folks with the money, the folks who can hire the lobbyists, the folks who can hire the lawyers, the folks who can hire the bought and paid for experts, the folks who can pay for the think tanks, get into every decision that gets made in Washington. And time after time, they tilt the playing field just a little. And then just a little more, and just a little more. And sometimes they tilt it really big. Look at that tax bill that was passed a year ago. A $2 trillion giveaway to billionaires and giant corporations at a time when our kids are shouldering $1.5 trillion in student loan debt. So for me, the fundamental question, the sole question is, who do we want government to work for? If we're content with government working for the rich and the powerful, keep voting Republican. But if you believe that government ought to work for all of us, then I think that's what the Democratic Party should be all about, and that's what 2020 should be all about. I hope that's helpful, Maria. Thank you. You bet. I love my rowdy teachers. Hi.
I'm nervous. Thank
Say it
you
again.
for. I'm nervous. I'm Debbie.
Nervous?
Debbie
Good to
from
see you.
Omaha.
All right.
And you just touched on my point is whether it's state, federal, city government, we all are customers and we want to get our money's worth.
Yep.
I've been a taxpayer since I was 16 years old.
Me too.
But my biggest question is how can we control insurance companies, like with the Affordable Care Act and everything that happened? That was a good plan, but I don't think government anticipated that the insurance companies would come back and just annihilate it.
Well, you put a nice face on it by saying government didn't anticipate it. I'm not sure which way that cuts, but I'll tell you this. It is time for our government not to work for the insurance companies. It's time for our government to work for the people who have insurance and who need it. So I'm going to do this one in just 2 quick bites. One is a very technical. I've done consumer work pretty much all my life and fought for the consumer agency, right? Out there, yes, CFPB, go. But a big part of that was to say that giant financial institutions should not be able to cheat people on mortgages and credit cards and payday loans, and that's what that agency was about. I now have the same kind of proposal for insurance companies that says they shouldn't be able to trick you and trap you on their insurance policies, so it's back at it. The second part is just the big part. It really is this question. You hit it exactly right, Mervis. It's ultimately, who are we going to make government work for? Are we going to keep giving in to the folks who hire all the lobbyists, who show up every day, the folks who make the campaign contributions? You know what we have to remember in this room? There's a whole lot more of us than there is of them. We use our voices, we use our votes, we take this government back. Thank you. You got this one written down.
I had to.
That's okay.
Senator Warren, Catherine Nicholson.
I know. Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Catherine was my student at the University of Texas a few years back.
35 years ago. Welcome to the Midwest.
Thank you. It's good to be here again.
I want you to know that I am here to support you because you're an old friend. You are someone who believes in what you believe, and I know that you always speak truthfully. I know that. There's no doubt in my mind. Honestly, after waiting in line, I think I might be one of the few conservatives in the room.
You're welcome here.
Thank you. I really
No, I know.
would like to see you be elected president. You've always sincerely fought for the middle class in all the years I've known you. And because I care for you and because I want to help you, I have to share what I see as a stumbling block to your campaign. I want you to win, okay? So,
Okay.
as you know, the Electoral College looks pretty red around here. From my perspective, in a lot of these red states, when you talk about reproductive rights, which is not your message about the consumer, it's not your message about helping families, it's not your message about insurance, but when you talk about reproductive rights, the folks in the Midwest, maybe not the ones in this room, but many folks in the Midwest hear the words murdering babies. And murdering babies is such an anathema to a lot of people around here that if you're pro-choice, they won't listen to another word you say. And that's not what I want for you. They'll shut the door on your campaign. Many people in red states want to support parents in crisis, give them a safe place to live, to learn, and to learn how to take care of their new child. If the new parents don't want to take care of a child, fine. Let's have a family raise a forever family raise the baby. You really have an important message. You support the families and you support health care, having just had a son die from cancer.
I know.
And in January alone of this year, the hospital bill was $200,000, but he passed away in September. I truly see the need for health care for all. It's just ridiculous otherwise.
Yes.
I am in favor of your antitrust enforcement, giving people greater voices in the corporations. But I feel if you support abortion, your entire message is lost, something I don't want to see happen.
So, no. So I think we're there, okay, on the question. Is that okay, Catherine? So Catherine and I have had this conversation off and on for a very long time, and it's kind of amazing that you got the card to come up here and ask a question, because it is an ongoing conversation. Catherine and I knew each other in law school, and for me, this is a question about the role of law. I know that these are very hard, personal, family decisions. I think the role of government here is to back out. I think a woman makes a decision with her family, her priest, her doctor, the people the woman chooses. And I think that's what respects all of us the most. And thank you, Catherine. It's good to see you, babe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We got one more. You do this. Got one more?
I'm Ann Travis. I am a
Ann?
Ann.
Hi, Ann.
I am from Iowa.
Ann?
I am a retired public school teacher.
Yay!
I have concern for the safety of children.
Yes.
But my major concern is we are a divided nation. And
Yes.
how are we going to work across the aisle or between groups so we can become united again? What strategies or ideas do you have?
So thank you, Ann. It's a,
Senator?
whoop,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Yeah, can I draw a couple more
Sure,
numbers
you
here
draw
real
a
quick
couple
before
more.
you answer?
Okay, and I'll get back to you here, Ann. Okay. Go ahead.
Didn't mean to scare you.
That's okay. I have a kind of high startle reflex. I
Hey,
stay
the-
in Washington a lot. Good to be alert at all times. Okay.
The last
Go ahead,
three
Scott.
digits are 007. So if you want to make your way to the mic. And 023.
We got him? We got a couple more?
And
There we
I am
go.
drawing these randomly.
Are
I'm
you?
not- Yeah, I don't have them.
This is on Scott. Okay, so let's go back to Ann's question. Ann's question was about a divided nation and how we come back together. You know, let me say something about where we're headed as we start rolling into 2020. My view about this is that I want to be out there and talk about not just what's broken, but our affirmative vision for what we can build. Because I don't think it is a just progressives or just conservatives. Believe in a level playing field. Believe in a chance for all of our kids to be able to succeed and be able to thrive.